So the legend himself, Little Richard, passed away at the age of 87 due to bone cancer on May 9th in Tullahoma, Tennessee. According to my mom, apparently bone cancer is painful, so it sucks the man was suffering some pain. Well, I mean, it's cancer overall, but bone cancer, ooh, apparently it's really painful. But at least he's no longer in pain now. He was known for his songs such as Tutti Frutti, Long Tall Sally, Good Golly Miss Molly, and more. Little Richard, when growing up, played with only girls. People made homophobic jokes towards him and was ridiculed due to his manner of walking and talking. His father punished him whenever he was caught wearing his mother's makeup and clothing. Little Richard, as a teenager, was sexually involved with both genders due to his infinite mannerisms, and apparently his father kicked him out of the house because of that. Little Richard said this: "My daddy put me out of the house. He said he wanted 7 boys and had spoiled it because I was gay." Wow, that sucks. That sucks that Little Richard had to go through that. I mean, I'm sure it's hard for a male who happens to be homosexual to have to come out and say that he's gay, especially when it comes to telling their father. The father may have a hard time and, dealing with that, especially if you're a black male. I mean, I don't know. It seems like if you're a black male, it might be harder for you to tell your own father that you're, a homosexual, where maybe most black fathers probably won't take it lightly. Unfortunately, it shouldn't have to be that way, but you just never know. So it's sad. Hopefully Little Richard and, his father made up, but apparently sounds like they never made up, unfortunately. Because I read in the article, apparently Little Richard's father was murdered outside a local bar when Little Richard was 19. Apparently his best friend, Frank, shot his father. It sounds like his best friend shot his father because he probably didn't like the fact or wasn't pleased that Little Richard's father kicked him out of the house because of his mannerisms. So I guess he figured that he has Little Richard's back by getting revenge on his father because what he did to Little Richard was messed up. And then basically like in the early 1950s, Little Richard became acquainted with an openly gay musician by the name of Billy Wright, who helped establish Little Richard's look, where he would end up like using pancake makeup on his face and wear his hair in a long-haired pompadour style, similar to Billy Wright's. Little Richard said, "I wore the makeup so that white men wouldn't think I was after the white girls. It made things easier for me. Plus, it was colorful too." And then back in 2000 in a Jet magazine, he said that, "I figure if being called a sissy would make me famous, let them say what they want." But regardless, Little Richard's look still attracted female audiences who sent him naked photos and their phone numbers. Groupies began throwing undergarments at Little Richard during his performances. Well, I mean, hey, good for Little Richard. I mean, despite that, his sexuality, females were still attracted to him. They still loved him. I mean, for goodness sakes, they sent him naked photos and their phone numbers and throwing garments on stage. Good for Little Richard. But either way, Little Richard will always be a legend in the music business. His impact is incredible and will always be around. He made a cameo appearance in Blossom. It was the 5th episode of season 1, the first season of Blossom. That's where he made a cameo. And of course, we can't forget when he made his guest appearance on that one Full House episode. That was pretty cool to see him in the same episode with the Full House cast. So there you go. Rest in peace to the legendary himself, Little Richard.